Other quick questions. The first is just on policing. Would the president sign a bill that didn't include an end to qualified immunity when it came to policing? Jim Clyburn is supporting that now. What's the president's stance on qualified immunity?
The president is eager to see what the outcome of negotiations are, and he certainly trusts in the leadership of Congresswoman Bass, Senator Booker, but his focus is on his hope that he can sign the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act into law on May 25th, if I'm getting the date correct, and we're not going to get ahead of those negotiations.
So he doesn't have a stance right now that he would say on
We're not going to take a stance in the middle of the negotiations.
And then the last question I have is on schooling. I saw some numbers that said Black children, or half of them have gone back to school. About 2/3 of Asian American children have enrolled in remote school, compared to about 20% of white students. Essentially, the point is that Black, Latino, and Asian students aren't going back to school at the same rates as white students. There are a lot of people who are worried about that equity gap. Does the administration have a goal, a number in mind for how this should be playing out when it comes to students and who's going back to school, and what's the aim there?
Yeah, well, one of the challenges is that the data is from March, and so the data at this point is a month and a half old. It still shows encouraging signs, but as you pointed out there, Yamiche, it's not nearly where we want it to be at the end, at the conclusion of this. And the focus of Secretary Cardona and on our Department of Education is ensuring we're getting these funds out to the communities that need it in order to reopen as quickly as possible, 5 days a week. There are also entities that I think one of your colleagues over here asked about in terms of concerns about the vaccine and safety and efficacy that we need to continue to address at the same time as well. So we will continue to dig into the data. One of the things Secretary Cardona has been focused on is connecting schools and best practices so that they can learn, is it a funding issue, is it addressing other challenges issue, and that school districts and schools can learn from each other. But our goal and objective is to have all schools open 5 days a week, and that's what we're working toward. And we're not going to be satisfied until we get there.